General Vextar watched with satisfaction as the last human settlement on Kepler 438b went silent. The orbital bombardment had been swift and efficient. 17 human colonies across 4 systems eliminated in a coordinated strike that would send a clear message to any species considering resistance to the hegemony. Confirmed kill on all targets, reported his tactical officer. No survivors detected. Human expansion in this sector has been permanently terminated. Vextar's crystalline form chimed with pleasure. Excellent. Signaled the fleet to return to base. Today, the galaxy learns what happens to species who refuse hegemony authority. But as his ships prepared to depart, something appeared on the long-range sensors that made the bridge crew freeze in confusion. "General," the sensor operator called out hesitantly, "we're detecting multiple contacts approaching from the outer system. Configuration unknown." "Reinforcements?" Vextar asked. "Negative, sir. These signatures. They're not matching any known ship designs." The contacts resolved into visual range, and what Vextar saw defied every tactical manual he'd studied. Ships, if they could be called ships that looked grown rather than built. Organic curves merged with technological elements in ways that suggested evolution rather than engineering. "Open a channel," Vextar commanded. The screen flickered to life, revealing something that made the general's confidence evaporate. The figure before him was recognizably human in basic structure, but everything else was wrong. Enhanced. Changed. The woman's eyes held an intelligence that seemed to process information faster than should be possible, and her skin showed faint patterns that pulsed with bioluminescent energy. "I am Dr. Elena Vasquez," she announced, her voice carrying harmonic overtones that resonated through the ship's hull. "Former Director of Human Colonial Genetics. I've come to thank you, General Vextar." "Thank me?" Vextar's voice cracked with confusion. "For accelerating our timeline," Elena replied with a smile that revealed teeth that were definitely not standard human anatomy. "You see, we've been preparing for this moment for decades. Every human colony you just destroyed was equipped with what we called evolutionary triggers." The tactical display began showing new contacts, thousands of them, emerging from asteroid fields, gas clouds, and seemingly empty space throughout the system. "When our settlements are destroyed," Elena continued conversationally, "they release adaptive viruses into local space. Viruses that seek out and analyze the attacking forces, learning everything about their biology, technology, and tactical patterns." Vextar watched in growing horror as his ship's systems began reporting strange readings. "What are you talking about?" "Those viruses have been studying your fleet for the past 6 hours, Elena explained. "Learning how your weapons work, how your shields function, how your species thinks and fights. And now," she gestured, and the human ships around them began to change. Hull configurations shifted to mirror hegemony designs. Weapon systems reconfigured themselves. The entire fleet was adapting in real time to match and counter everything the hegemony possessed. "Impossible," Vextar shouted. "Technology doesn't work like that." "You're right," Elena agreed. "Technology doesn't. Evolution does. And humans, General, are the most adaptable species in the galaxy." The true horror began when the sensor operator reported ship movements throughout hegemony space. "Sir, we're receiving reports from command. Strange contacts appearing over every major installation. Ships that look familiar." The display showed Elena's companions, each one a human who had been changed, enhanced, adapted. Some showed cybernetic integration that merged flesh with technology. Others displayed biological modifications that suggested they had incorporated alien DNA into their own genetics. "Every time you attack us, we become stronger," Elena explained. "Every weapon you use against us, we learn to replicate and improve. Every tactic you employ, we analyze and counter. You've been teaching us how to defeat you for 50 years. General Vextar realized the scope of the nightmare he was facing. How many of you are there? Originally, maybe 12 billion humans across 200 colonies. Elena's smile widened. But we don't just adapt technology, General. We adapt ourselves. Each human you thought you killed has become the template for dozens of improved variants. The tactical display showed the terrifying truth. What had appeared to be simple cargo vessels were revealing themselves as massive biofactories, producing enhanced humans at an impossible rate. Ships that seemed damaged were actually growing, healing, evolving in real time. The colonies you destroyed, Elena continued, they weren't just our homes. They were our laboratories. Each one specialized in different forms of human enhancement. You've just forced us to deploy every experimental upgrade we've developed over the past half-century. Communications began flooding in from across hegemony space. Panicked reports of human variants who could survive in vacuum, who moved faster than tracking systems could follow, who seemed to anticipate attacks before they were launched. But the most beautiful part, Elena said, as her image began to flicker and distort, is that we're not done evolving. Every moment you continue fighting us, we learn something new. Every weapon you fire, every strategy you attempt, every desperate move you make, it all just makes us better. The screen went dark, but her voice continued through the ship's communication system, somehow having infiltrated networks that should have been impossible to breach. You wanted to eliminate humanity, General. Congratulations. The species you knew no longer exists. What we've become is so much more. Across the galaxy, the reports kept coming. Human variants that could phase through solid matter. Humans who had merged with artificial intelligence to become something beyond organic life. Humans who had apparently learned to manipulate gravity, time, and space itself. General Vextar realized that in trying to destroy humanity, they had instead created the galaxy's first truly post-biological species. Beings who treated the laws of physics as suggestions and evolution as a real-time strategic tool. All ships, he whispered into his communicator, retreat to maximum safe distance and send an emergency message to the High Council. What should the message say, sir? Vextar looked at the tactical display showing human contacts that defied classification, ships that evolved faster than sensors could analyze them, and beings that had turned extinction into transcendence. Tell them, he said quietly, that we didn't kill humanity. We taught it to become something that makes extinction impossible. As his fleet fled in panic, Elena Vasquez's final transmission followed them across the galaxy. Thank you for showing us what we needed to become. Now the universe will learn what happens when you try to destroy a species that refuses to stay dead. The human colonies had fallen, but what rose from their ashes was something the galaxy had never seen before and would never be able to unsee.